Hello, you guys. I apologize for the uber long break that just happened out of the blue. Just, I got a new laptop, I started reading fix, bam, break. That's it. Just break. Poof. It's there. You may leave now. No. But I apologize for that. Obviously, I got a new mic. I didn't get a new mic, I got a new laptop, which my good headset works on. If you want to see all the details about that, that's actually basically it. But there's an update video I posted a while ago. And yeah, I don't know why I'm continuing on this intro, because there's something else I have to say. So let us just get started with Chapter 7 of My Little Pony, Morphing is Magic. Chapter 7. Tobias. We had arrived at the place the White Unicorn had called the Everfree Forest. It was almost scary just how much like Earth this planet was. I felt right at home among the branches of the trees. They even smelled like pine and fir. I acted as lookout while the others demorphed, keeping a wary eye on the sky. Some of those horses looked just like a Pegasus and could even fly. How something their size was able to achieve flight was an enigma to me. Their wings were far too small compared to their bodies. On the plus side, though, they were easy to keep an eye on. That was the other thing that was unusual about this planet. The coloring of the horses wasn't too unusual. You'd say the same if you ever saw an Andalite in the flesh. But what really astounded me was everything else. Everything I looked at had such a vibrant, rich color, brighter than anything naturally occurring on Earth. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. In fact, it was rather pleasant to look at. It was just a bit unsettling, that's all. "How are things looking from up there, Tobias?" Jake called up at me. I swiveled my head, looking at him with one eye. "I see plenty of Pegasus's flying horses above the town, but none of them seem to be flying over the forest. They do seem to be afraid of it," I said. "Also, you're not going to believe this, but some of them are actually pushing clouds around." "That is not physically possible," Axe said almost immediately. "You must be seeing things." Maybe Axe was right, so I decided to take another look. My eyes hadn't deceived me the first time, for I saw a winged horse move over to a small cloud and push it across the sky. But that wasn't even the most amazing part. After it had pushed it a distance, the horse gave the cloud a small kick, and, as if on cue, a torrent of rainwater came out. I swear to you guys, they're manipulating the clouds as easily as we can move balloons. "How is an inflatable synthetic rubber decoration designed for celebrations comparable to an accumulation of dust and water vapor?" Axe asked. "I think the more important question is, how are they able to do that?" Cassie said with much surprise. "No, the most important question is how come creatures from Earth mythology actually exist and speak fluent English, and have the cheesiest names I've ever heard," Marco said, only half joking. "Axe, what is the likelihood of such a thing happening?" "Guys, focus for a moment," Jake interrupted Axe before he could say anything. "The real important question is, how are we getting home? We just trashed our only spaceship, and I highly doubt the Yeerks are gonna let us waltz in and borrow another." He was silent for a moment. "That is, assuming we can even find where the Yeerks are hiding." "Where do you think they could be?" Rachel asked, looking around. There seemed to be loads of ideal hiding spots. "I can see the town we flew over, and what looks like a castle in the far mountain, but other than that, all I see is either trees or open plains," I said after scanning the horizon. "Wow, we sure did a number on the castle." Jake placed his hand on his forehead. "I forgot about that. How much do you think it will hamper us diplomatically?" "I can see a few flying horses flitting around the tower we smashed into. I think they're fixing it, but I can't be certain." I groaned silently. Maybe I can ask one of the horses next time we meet what the plural of Pegasus is. "Do you think we did the right thing by being so secretive with them?" Cassie asked. "We had to be. Who knows how many of them were controllers or not." "None of them recognized Axe as an Andalite," Marco pointed out. "So what?" Rachel said. "That just means there are fewer controllers and free horses. That blue one is suspicious. Did you see how it attacked Axe without thinking? You're one to talk about charging in without thinking, Margot joked. I'm just saying that something seems off with these horses, Rachel continued, ignoring Margot. Yes, their coloring is rather unusual, Axe said. And did any of you notice the odd brands they all possessed? I wonder what they mean. I know farmers usually brand their cattle, but I've never heard of anyone branding a horse. And if they are owned by someone, why give each horse a different brand? I pondered out loud. But these aren't normal horses. They can speak and fly and reason. Why would you brand them in the first place? Cassie pondered. Hey, little birdies! Are you here? A shrill voice cut through the idle chatter below. It sounded familiar. I recognized it after a few moments. Guys, I think one of those horses is here. Are you playing a game? Is it hide and seek? Can I play too? A bouncing pink puff hopped into the tiny clearing, where the others were all standing. She stopped a few feet away from the others, staring at them in confusion. Jake and the rest returned her confused look. I was stunned myself. I had been watching both the sky and the ground as well as I could, but the horse had appeared out of thin air. Ooh, what are you? Are you the birdies? 'Cause you're standing with Axe and Millie My, all fine and dandy. Is this what you look like? I brought you some birdseed from Fluttershy, but I guess you don't want it now. Unless you really are birds, then you'll still eat it, right? The horse continued talking as Jake shook his head disbelievingly. He looked up at me, glaring. Hey, I was keeping watch, I said to him privately. She just came out of nowhere. Honest. Cassie stepped forward. Listen, my name's Pinkie Pie. Oh, did you forget? Can you not remember after changing shape? The horse gasped oddly. Does that mean you don't remember where you come from? No, that's not it at all. It's just... Oh, good, because for a moment I was worried you'd be wandering aimlessly, being all like, where am I, and who am I, and where am I going, and then I had to teach you how to remember. Listen, Pinkie Pie, Jake began. Why are you here? Didn't we ask for privacy? Pinkie Pie stopped bouncing and frowned. Well, no. You just wanted an isolated area where you wouldn't be found. I remember it all perfectly. She giggled and began bouncing once again. So I decided to give you a moment to adjust and then come to brighten up your day, 'cause you just crashed your big metal bug and you seemed upset. Does anyone else know you're here? Axe asked. Pinkie Pie shook her head. Nope. I just came straight here after I said goodbye. It's getting late, so everybody else is getting ready for sleep, and I was too, but then I remembered you probably haven't eaten anything, so I stopped at Fluttershy's house and got some birdseed for you, 'cause you were all birds, but now you're not. She scrunched up her forelegs, seemingly in thought. So, what do you eat anyway? Gemstones? Dirt? Hay? Daisies? Prince Jake, I am finding it difficult to keep up with her constantly shifting topics, Axe said to everyone except the horse. We all are, Axeman, I said. Thank you, Pinkie Pie, but we can survive on our own, Rachel said, a hint of anger in her voice. Oh, call me Pinkie. All my friends do. She gasped again. Oh, right, you're my friends now. I have to learn your names. Say you know all the names of my friends. She walked, or I guess that would be trotted, up to Cassie and peered at her. Let's see, what's your name? Shifty? Changeo? Mirror? Morpheus? To my surprise, Cassie actually smiled. My name is Cassie. Pinkie seemed to pipe up even more, if that was even possible at her current level of excitement. Cassie! Cassie and Axamilly Mai, and... She trailed off as she looked at the others. She zeroed in on Jake. Grouchy McGroucherson over there, I think, is Prince Jake. He looks as angry as Prince Blueblood always does. I saw Marco roll his eyes. This doesn't seem like a wise decision. Axe spoke to me. I hear you, Axe, but there's no backing out now. I silently replied. Now for you two, Pinkie said, pointing at Rachel and Marco. Weren't there 6 of you before? She gasped. 6 of you, 6 of us. We could be the bestest friends. Or was I wrong? Are there only 5? No, it's still 6, Pinkie. She swerved her head perfectly around her neck to look at me. Hey, you're that bird from before. Whoa, Pinkie. Marco spoke up. How'd you know where he was? Well, we are in a forest, and birds perch in trees. Duh. Pinkie responded, seemingly serious, though the smile plastered on her face made it difficult to tell. Marco groaned loudly. This isn't... you shouldn't be able to... I think somebody just out-Marco'd Marco, Rachel said with a grin. Oh, so you're Marco? Pinkie said. turning her attention away from me. Marco, Cassie, Axe, me, and Prince Jake. Is she purposely mispronouncing my name? Axe said. Well, you have to admit, Axe, it is difficult to say. Perhaps for you humans, but we Andalites can pronounce each other's names perfectly. Oh, so you're all humans? Pinkie piped up. Axe swung his eye stalks to her in shock. Impossible! That was a private thought-speak communication. How did you hear it? Oh, was I not supposed to hear that? I'm sorry. Pinkie pouted, completely oblivious to what she'd done. To my surprise, I found myself laughing. This caught Pinkie's attention. So, Mr. Bird, what will your name be? She asked, tilting her head playfully. I nearly broke out in laughter again after watching her. My name is Tobias. She let out a small giggle. That's a funny name, but in a good way. Not the mean funny, although I still find it hard to believe that funny can be anything but fun. Pinkie turned to Rachel. Oh, that's right, I still need to guess your name. She furrowed her brow, deep in thought. I'm going to say Rachel, 'cause you look like a Rachel. Rachel's eyes widened slightly. Wow, you sure are good. Pinkie giggled at this knowledge and began jumping around the others in a wide circle. Then, to everyone's surprise, music appeared from nowhere and she started singing. Tobias, Rachel, and Prince Jake, Marco, Cassie, Axel, and I, you're all my new friends, now let's have some cake with your new best friend, Pinkie Pie. She finished her song by embracing all 6 of us in a hug, even though we were a good distance away and I was in a tree. The others all looked at her with baffled looks. Axe's eyes were nearly bulging out of his head. As soon as he asked, Pinkie let us all go. I hovered in the air for a moment before landing on the ground. Somewhat taken aback, Pinkie pouted, her exuberance and excitement gone in an instant. Is there something I did to upset you? Cassie moved towards the pink horse and patted her affectionately. No, Pinkie, Axe is just confused by how quick and crazily you move. Pinkie seemed to cheer up at Cassie's words. Oh, every pony in town says that. I heard Marco cough as he tried to hide another groan. Speaking of the others, Pinkie, there's a good reason why we didn't want to be found, Jake said. So, do you think you can promise us that you won't say anything to your friends? I know it's a lot to ask, but we have good reasons. Pinkie nodded. Yep, I won't tell any pony you're here. Cross my heart and hope to fly, stick a cupcake in my eye. She punctuated her bizarre oath by sticking her hoof in her eye. I watched, bewildered that she could bend like that. And you're sure you'll keep your word? Marco asked suspiciously. Pinkie let out a small giggle. Of course, silly. No pony can break a pinky promise. You know, Marco, you're going to use up all your groans at this rate, I told him privately. He flashed me a devilish grin. Well, I'd better get back to town. The cakes probably need my help with closing up Sugar Cube Corner, Pinkie said. See you all tomorrow. And with that, she went bounding off through the woods. Prince Jake, I do not believe it was wise for you to reveal your names to her. Why not, Axe? Cassie asked. She seemed harmless enough to me. Plus, if she were a controller, she wouldn't have acted that way towards us, I added. Oh, I just remembered, Pinkie said, bouncing into the center of us again. I squawked and flapped my wings in surprise. For a horse, she was quite skillful in being stealthy. Pinkie reached behind her and pulled out a giant pink cake lined with white frosting. I know you all don't want a party just yet, but I thought you would like some cake. You've never had a cake baked by me before, have you? All of us were at a loss of words from what we had just witnessed. Axe was especially taken aback. The look in his eyes made it seem that they were going to burst from his head. How did you do that? Your species doesn't appear advanced enough to harbor matter storage devices. Pinkie looked at Axe quizzically. Matter what now? You're not funny for someone who doesn't actually talk. Axe was about to speak again, but Jake shot him a stand-down type look. Thanks for the gift, Pinkie, he said as sincerely as possible. Consider it a gift between new friends. She then passed the cake to Cassie, said her goodbyes, and bounced back through the trees. Once the others were sure she was gone, they turned to each other, and then at the cake. Do you think it's safe to eat? Marco asked. Should have laced it with poison or something. She doesn't strike me as the type of horse to do that, Cassie said. Rachel scoffed, walked over to the cake, stuck her finger in the icing and ate it. Tastes fine to me. Cautiously, the others approached the cake and one by one took small samples, with the exception of Axe. I could see he was in the process of morphing to human. Since andalites don't have mouths, they have no real sense of taste. Unfortunately for us, whenever he's in human morph, you can't control his senses. Axe, what are you? I never got the chance to finish asking before Axe leapt at the cake, shoving whole handfuls into his mouth at once. The others just barely got out of the way as frosting-covered chunks were tossed around us. Soon the area was painted pink, and still Axe feasted. Mmm, so sweet and sugary! Sugary! Well, there goes our meal, Margot said dejectedly. I don't think you need any more sugar anyway, Rachel said slyly. Well, you guys may be fine, but I still need to eat, I said, spreading my wings and starting to get some air. I'm going to go hunting. I'll be back shortly. I saw them each give me a salute for luck before breaking through the canopy and into the sky. Off in the distance, circling the town, I could see a number of Pegasuses moving clouds around and even sitting or laying on them. A crazy idea suddenly materialized as I watched them flying around. I climbed higher into the air, leaving the ground behind. Eventually, I spotted a lone cloud floating above the forest. Figuring I had nothing to lose, I aimed for it and tried to land. I honestly expected to fall through it and was preparing myself to quickly take flight again. To my amazement, however, my talons landed on the soft, puffy surface without a hitch. I flexed my talons, feeling the cloud bend and squish beneath them. I laughed with giddy excitement. This is incredible! I shouted to no one. What kind of a world is this? I toyed around with the clouds for a few minutes, just breaking bits off and reforming others into little figures. In the back of my mind, I knew we had a possible alien invasion to deal with alongside getting back to Earth, but I was having too much fun to care at the moment. And I believe that breaks the chain of one-liners at the end of chapters. Maybe not one-liners, but, ending the chapter with a but-tish moment, And that was, a very fun and awesome chapter. Because, I love to see how the writers are exploring how the Animorphs sort of react to being in this whole new world they haven't seen before. I really love how they do this. You have Tobias going off and checking out the clowns, and you have Tobias saying, what? Oh, that doesn't make sense. And I love the humor. Oh, I love the humor between Axe react. Not even really humor, but I just love the way Axe is reacting to Pinkie's antics. Like, nah, what, no, no, no. I love that, and this chapter is very well done. Marco, he had some fun moments. I really enjoyed all of the characters in this part. I really did. Though, some parts you kind of forget that, especially Rachel, you especially forget that Rachel is there in the group. But, I think Rachel would be more talkative in this. And I feel like she didn't talk all that much. At least in the part that I read tonight, she didn't talk all that much, which was basically the second half. And I feel like that could have been fixed, but especially if you're an early on writer, this is a very good job. This was very well done. I thoroughly enjoyed this. There was one other thing I wanted to say. The reactions to the cake, something to do with that. It felt kind of odd. I mean, yes, I get that they would be, concerned that it would be poisonous. But, and, they should be. But Rachel just going in and bleh, and just doing it. I don't know, that feels off. Like, Rachel's brave, but she's not stupid. Usually, she's not stupid. I mean, she acts stupid sometimes, but she isn't stupid. She's brave, She has courage, but she no stupid. She no stupid. I'm just nitpicking at this point, though. I really am. This was very well done, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. That's really all that mattered. If I enjoyed it, if it's enjoyable, it's fine in my book. I will see you guys in Chapter 8.